Football Scrutiny. Today we're going to be taking a look at Xavi Hernández, the legendary centre midfielder from Barcelona, currently applying his trade as a coach in Qatar with Al Sadd. And this is analysis of his 3-4-3 tactical system, which, if he was to be included as the next Barcelona manager, what could we expect from that Barcelona side? So let's get straight into it and have a look at the 3-4-3 system. Now, this time I've actually prepared a few slides. I'm not going to go as off script as normal. I've prepared a few slides for you. So that's the general layout of the players in that mid block. And when we gather it in, we can start to see the kind of shapes and the kind of passing options which are available between the players. And we can see there on the sides, there's diamonds, there's the M shape. Look at the amount of triangles inside that positioning. And not only that, but look at where the triangles come in with the 5 corridors on the pitch. So on the outer corridor, you've got the wing backs. On the central corridor, you've got the centre back and the central striker. And in the interiors, or these half spaces, which people like to talk about, you've got the centre midfielders, you've got the left centre back, the left forward. So that you can see that there's a lot of options. The whole pitch is really well covered. And then when we put it in between other systems, for example, the 4-4-2, you can see where the superiority lies. 3 centre-backs playing out against 2 forwards. There's a 3 against 2 situation. In the middle of the pitch, it's equality, 4 against 4. 3 against 4 inferiority up front, but on the sides, that's where we've got an advantage. We've got a 3 against 2. And if we wanted, if he receives out here, we can got a potential 4 against 2, depending on where the centre midfielders are positioned. So plenty of options in the attacking phase. So what does that look like on the pitch? Let's have a little look. So those are the general positionings of the players. And when we put in those corridors, we can now see the positioning. So we've got the centre back here on the ball, bringing the ball out. The winger or the wing back high in that wide channel, and then the 3 centre forwards in general in different channels. So this one is just seeped into here, but we can normally expect it to be there. And these players often would drop into here and into here to create a 4 in midfield and create superiority in there. Let's just put them back and have a look at next page. So this is what I was talking about. One of those forwards would drop from this position here into here to receive and make these defenders really think about where they're going to be positioned. So here's the other one. We've got now 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm going to put it in 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this channel. So really interesting setup, and you can see where the superiority can lie. Now, I've put this in because this is a lost possession, and the amount of players which are coming in to press. So look at all these players high up the pitch trying to win the ball back. There's a lot of players in and around, and they try and win the ball back up. So Barcelona, if they were to look to Xavi Hernández, then you can see the amount of players that are going to try and press the ball high up the pitch after losing it. These are the 2 forwards again who've now dropped into this area here to create superiority in the middle of the pitch. And this is one of the things, the key things which come from those movements. So when these forwards come into these spaces, the centre backs on either side are making long crossfield balls into the wing backs, or into the wingers, and the wing backs. And then the forward who's dropped out of this position waits for this player to move out and create an extra space in between the 3 and the 4 for them to break through. So it's a little bit like the 3-4-3, which it's a little bit like the 4-3-3, which I was talking about in one of my previous videos, where the 2 centre midfielders would try and break that line in between the fullback and centre back when there would be a pass out wide. So this is really prominent. Here's one of those examples where we've got our centre back on the ball, we've got our wing back on the opposite side, and they're playing these really long balls over from one side to the other. And then your striker, who had previously dropped off, see if I've got a little line to show you. So he'd previously dropped off into the middle, and now he's going to make this run in behind when this player has come out. So this player will move out. Let's sneak that arrow over to there. This player will come out, and then there will be a gap in between this player and this player. And then that is the moment where he's going to make that run in between that gap, in between these two players. So here is that example. Now we've got the player who's made that run. I'm going to do it in white this time. So he's made that run, and we can see the distance between that fullback and that centre-back has obviously got bigger. And now with that pass coming in, he's just going to play the volleyed pass into his path and try and get him into the box. This is just a few minutes later, and yeah, it's exactly the same. Centre-back on this side gets the ball, long cross-field pass over here. You can already see that this player is starting to make that run already to come and support. Okay, so actually, if we even look, these yellow players, look at the body position. They're all expecting the passes or the ball to come into this area over here. So when we actually go and have a look at where the ball ends up, you can see now that the ball has come all the way across the field, and this player now is making the run again in between these two players as the gap has opened up. So what kind of player is going to, well, so we'll look at the players afterwards, but the kind of player that's going to make these runs is going to be dynamic, strong. And I think this will be some exciting football if Barcelona do take him on. So one of the other things which Barcelona could expect is the centre-backs being real ball-playing centre-backs, where they pick up the ball, and this happened quite a lot of times in this particular game that I was watching. The centre-backs would pick up the ball and just drive through the middle of the pitch. It really surprised me, actually. Look at how far he's come. So picks the ball up in his own half. He's already dribbled, by the way, all the way through here, and he's going to dribble all the way through, and actually end up being the player to make the pass through to their central striker, who makes a nice little run off the shoulder of the defence and into that gap. So this is another thing which we can expect if Barcelona do decide to use Xavi Hernández. And of course, well, don't want to look at the defending too much, but the pressure on the ball, high pressing at the top of the pitch. When they lose possession, high pressing, Gegen pressing, or however you want to call it, once they've lost the ball. So yeah, really interesting stuff from Xavi Hernández. So let's have a quick look at the player profiles. What kind of players do Barcelona, or would Xavi Hernández look to bring in? So if they were to play this system, obviously you want a big, strong centre-back to be holding that middle. And then on the two sides, I think these are two key players for Barcelona. They would need centre-backs who are capable of moving out onto the sides, driving forward through the middle of the pitch into these areas, but also looking to play those long sweeping passes from one side of the pitch. Let's take an arrow from here and put it in. So to be making these long passes all the way across the other side of the pitch, and also be capable of driving through into these areas here. So through the middle of the pitch. Not many centre-backs in the world are capable of doing that, but those are the ones that Barcelona would have to pay big money for. In the middle of the pitch, in Al-Sad, looks like he's using Santi Cazorla, so obviously you're going to want top quality positional central midfield players there for Barcelona. And I can't help but think that Liverpool player Thiago Alcantara, would be one of those players that he might try to convince to come into this Barcelona side. One of the best positional players in the centre midfield in the world at the moment, and you expect there'd be that kind of profile player that would play there. Next, we've got the two strikers which would be playing off, who are capable of making the runs in behind here. So we're looking for pace. We're looking for players who can drop into these areas, into these half space areas or inside channels to receive, and then play from there. Also drop into here, play passes in behind. Let's put that arrow into there. Oops. So looking for when there is a cross-field pass to get into those areas here, to drop into here, and also then to be capable of receiving passes, driving with the ball themselves and playing balls through to their other support striker or main striker. So the wing-backs, well, look no further than what we've already got on that side with Jordi Alba. Would definitely be part of the plans of Xavi Hernández with his ability to get forward and back and to get in behind here. So expect that to be a key player if Xavi Hernández was to get the job. And then finally, a central striker. Would it be Messi? I get the feeling his time is coming to an end at Barcelona, so they would really be looking for a big, tall striker, fast to be able to get in behind into these areas. And do you know who I think that fits that profile? Haaland. Erling Haaland would be the perfect player to play in this position. And I think that Barcelona would be prepared to spend that kind of money. So that is my analysis of Xavi Hernández and his 3-4-3 tactics in El Sad. If you've got any ideas or think that I've missed something out, leave it in the comments below. And if you could obviously help out the channel by subscribing and sharing our videos, that would really, really help us. So look forward to seeing you next time here on Football Scrutiny's Tactics Talks.